Hello Year 4 and welcome to your second week's RE lesson. Let's see where we were up to last week on our inquiry into good and evil. Last week you inquired into the meaning of good and evil and came up with a list of words and ideas that you thought of when you thought of both of these concepts and used those to help you to describe your own meanings for good and evil. This week, when we contextualise the concept, we are going to be looking at the idea of good and evil and how it is important in the religious belief and practice for Hindus. And in particular, we're going to be focusing on a special celebration for Hindus that focuses largely on the idea of good and evil. Today we're going to be describing ways in which Hindus remember good and evil through the celebrations of Holi. Casting our minds back, what do we know about Hinduism already? You should have already studied the Hindu faith last year when exploring the concepts of candlelight as a symbol, to inquire about the Hindu festival of Diwali, and also when looking at rites of passage and learning about the key stages in both Hindu and Christian lives. Let's have a look at today's learning about the Hindu festival of Holi and how good and evil are remembered during this time for Hindus. There are a number of things you may need for today's activities, so you might want to pause the video to make sure you have all of the things that you need. It's not essential to have all of the craft items, but some of the things might be fun. Today you definitely will need some paper to be able to take some notes on, and of course a pen or a pencil, because there will be some videos you'll be taking notes on to help you with later part of your task and learning. A just for fun activity at the end may require some paints, drinking straws, and if you do not have paints or drinking straws, then coloured pens or pencils will be just fine. Pause the video now for you to be able to get the items that you think you might need. Now you've got all of the things you need, the first thing you need to be ready for is with your notes and notepaper and pens and pencils to be able to ready to listen to the story of Holi on the first video link. The link is entitled The Festival of Holi, and you can watch up to 2 minutes 22 on the video. It doesn't matter if you listen to the end, but the first part of the video is what's most important for you understanding why Holi as a festival takes place. The second video link on your list is to help you to take notes on how Hindus celebrate good over evil. So when watching this video in particular, please take notes on the things that you think Hindus do that remember good overcoming evil and how they celebrate good overcoming evil. And these ideas link very much to the story that you heard of Holi. Pause this video now to be able to go into both of the video links that are attached in your folder. I think you'll agree after watching both videos that Holi certainly looks like a very exciting and fun festival for Hindus. It's definitely something I think I'd like to be part of. What did you get from your notes to describe how Hindus remember good and evil at this time of Holi? Because as well as it being lots of fun and a celebration, it's got a very important meaning behind it, in particular, good triumphanting, overcoming evil. Did you get the following ideas? Essentially, it remembers the story of Prince Prahlad. He was the good in terms of his belief in Lord Vishnu, in terms of his God. He believed in him and prayed to him to help him overcome his father and his aunt's evil. Did you get that bonfires are lit? Bonfires are lit in remembrance, I suppose, of Prahlad and what he had to go through in order to overcome the evil of his father. Lighting the bonfires now for Hindus is to purify evil all around and to remember the time when good triumphed over evil. Offerings are also given to thank God for their first crops. You may well have seen this on the video. Perhaps the most exciting thing for Hindus at this time is throwing of coloured paint. They believe that God created colour so the world could be beautiful. The paint reminds Hindus of this, and to make lives colourful, to forgive and forget, and essentially this is good overcoming evil. It's also a time to remember Lord Krishna, how Vishnu appears in childlike form, and the pranks he used to play when he was younger as a child. By remembering him in the form of Krishna is a way of remembering him in the form of God Vishnu from the story of when Prahlad overcome the evil of his father by believing in God Vishnu. Paint throwing again celebrates this special time of remembering good overcoming evil. In the story, Narashima's victory and the faith and belief that Prahlad held through all of his trials shows the good overcoming evil, and it is the reason that Hindus all over the world celebrate Holi. It is thought that Prahlad had actually felt sorry for his aunt Holika, and promised therefore to name the festival after her, which is where the name of Holi comes from. As Hindus celebrate Holi and remembering good overcoming evil, there are many ways in which they do this, as you have learnt from the video, including the worshipping of the god Vishnu at the shrine, burning the effigy, remembering the story, sending cards, putting up decorations, and sharing special food, as we saw in the video. All celebrations of Holi help Hindus remember good overcoming evil. For your main task, I would like you to go into the folder and find your activity sheet, and use your notes that you have made to describe how Hindus remember good and evil at Holi, using the lines at the bottom of your task sheet. I have provided some sentence openers here to help you get started, to help you describe how Hindus remember good and evil. Please make sure you use your notes you've already made, as they will essentially be what form part of your writing. One way Hindus remember good and evil at Holi is by, so here you're to describe one of the things that you know that they do. It might be to do with remembering the story of Prahlad, it might be to do with lighting bonfires. Any of the ideas you've already written down can come in here, as the next sentence opener says, they also, so it gives you the opportunity to write about another example. I know what the last one you're going to be writing about is, because it says the most exciting way they remember good and evil is, so have a think very carefully about the most fun and exciting activity they take part in, but also use this video to help remind you as to why they do that in terms of remembering good overcoming evil. Pause the video now so you can make sure you've got the activity sheet you need and your notes ready to do your writing with your sentence openers. I'm sure you've all written fantastically well with all of the notes you've made from the video, and don't forget you can always go back to those at any time to give you ideas. You may be wondering what the big space is for in the middle of your page. Well, let me show you. Your next task is just for a bit of fun, really. What I would like you to do is to create your own straw paintings to remember good over evil like Hindus do at Holi. We can't of course throw paint, but we can blow paint in the colours used to represent the important meanings behind the colours. You may have heard on both of the videos, in fact, the different meanings behind the colour paint that they throw. Here are some examples of some of the meanings of some of the colour paints they throw from the second video, although I know there are different ones in the first also if you continue to watch that video to the end. The idea behind this is if you put a dot of different coloured paint on your page, not too much water, but not too much paint, just an even consistency, and you use your straw and hold it just above the paint so that it's not touching the page. If you just gently blow down into the straw, into the paint, you'll be able to spread the paint out and it will create a splat-like effect. This to me just reminded me of the fun that was created by the paint throwing in the celebration of Holi that we saw the Hindus involved in during that time on the video. If you'd like to have a go, make sure you've got all of the appropriate things around you to keep yourself clean, tidy, and all of the things like your home protected, so please ask somebody to help you with this. If you do not have paint, please don't worry. You can easily create the same sort of effects through drawing with pencils and pens, and can create a spat-like effect anyway. If you would please choose the colours that you think that you like, and also record down which meanings they have behind them. I have chosen red for power, orange for purity, and green for love. These are the meanings that are described on the video, so have a listen back carefully and see which other ones you can pick out and record down for just a bit of fun. I hope you've enjoyed the task today and have learned a little bit about the celebration of good overcoming evil for Hindus through the celebration of Holi. Well done, everybody.